open while I'm doing the presentation, just because when I have chat open, it brings down my other monitor. So just letting you know, and I'm not being non-responsive. I have to keep one window open. I have too many monitors, let's put it that way. This presentation will be brief. The Mr. Top Step crowd, I always think of as the crowd that wants the information concisely, intelligently, and quickly. Whereas some of the other crowds like it kind of like drawn out. So I'm going to show a 3-minute video, and then I'm going to talk about, I'll talk about option trading, the value to understanding that, particularly with options, it's really probabilities, right? The market actually prices probabilities. It's called a delta. In the short term. And if there are mathematicians out there, I too am a mathematician, and I'm making an assumption that the log normal is close enough to the normal in a short time period. Okay. And so you can use those probabilities with back testing to set yourself up with a portfolio of trades, right? So it's not just long trades, it's long trades, it's short trades, non-directional trades, pre-earnings trades, technical trades, all that. And the goal with Trade Machine is to find your style, to let a machine use your style to find the trades that would interest you, for you to choose the ones you like, for you to set an alert for them, and then you're done. And then you have a machine working for you every second of every day. And when your trade triggers, you get a text message or an email, however you like it set, and tells you, hey, you wanted to do this trade when these certain conditions were met, they're met. And so how do I use Trade Machine? I have, I would say, about 75 alerts set, and sometimes I do 2 or 3 trades a day. Sometimes I go a week and I don't trade. I just know that it's got my back. I just know that if I'm not getting an alert today, and some technical condition isn't being met, it's fine. It also turns out that if you have enough alerts set, you get a really good sense for when the market's turning. Because if you have some bullish trades or some bearish trades that have technical requirements, they're going to start to trigger all at the same time. And so, you kind of get like 3 or 4 or 5 alerts in a 10-second period, and you realize, oh man, these big stocks have all gone below the 200-day moving average. So Trade Machine members did quite well, owning volatility during the hellish November and December, really October, November, December period in 2018. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a quick video of how to do this from start to finish, how to find a trade, so how to scan for a trade, how to identify it perfectly, and then how to set an alert. I don't, it's on a stock, it's Adobe. I don't have any particular interest in Adobe. I think this is a good trade, but I'm not trying to sell a trade. I don't care if anyone does this trade. I may or may not do this trade. But it's a really good working example of how to do it. And after that, I'm just going to come back and show you a couple of charts. And if any of those charts look like things you might want to do, I'll show you how to do them in Trade Machine. But before I start anything, I just want to say, irrespective of any presenter or me or anything, I just want to remind you one thing about if you're doing short-term trading. Okay, it's actually likely possible that you've already found your perfect strategy, and your perfect strategy means one that works, but works for your personality. Everyone has a personality as a trader, but you haven't stuck with it long enough. Okay, so it takes a little bit of time. I mean, even if when you set a trade, the expectation is that it's going to be a win. Yet when you look at a portfolio of trades, the expectation is not that you win 150 times in a row, right? So trading is just not a straight line. I'll give my background in a second, but I've been a market maker on NYSE Arca. I've been a market maker on SIBO. I've been a hedge fund manager. I created a model, which I'm going to be speaking about in London on the main stage at CFA this year, artificial intelligence, which over $1 trillion in assets under management. It's a trillion with a T. And I can tell you, from retail traders to professional traders to people managing hundreds of billions of dollars, the successful ones are the ones that recognize their personalities, trade to those personalities, and understand that it's never a straight line. It just isn't. I really wish it would be. I really, really wish I could say here the next 25 trades that are going to win. Let's go knock our socks off, go make 10 million bucks, 100 million bucks, and get out of here. I can't do it. But you can create wealth by understanding that dynamic. Okay. Understand that it's just not a straight line. But when you zoom out, it's like look at an Amazon stock chart, right? If you look at an Amazon stock chart, really zoomed out, it looks like it's a straight line. You go into Amazon and you realize the stock went down to $6 in 2000 and has huge drawdowns. So that's what trading is. So I'm going to play a little video. I don't think the audio is going to work as I expect it to, so I'm going to point my microphone at my speaker. And it's only 3 minutes, but again, the purpose of this, if you wouldn't mind, the purpose of this video is to just show the idea of scanning for a trade, optimizing it in the back tester, setting an alert, feeling comfortable that you're done, and when you get that alert, you're ready to trade. And then I'm going to talk to you about the various types of trades you can do. Okay, so I'm going to hit play. Sorry, I just moved my microphone away from my face. I'm going to hit play for about 5 seconds with audio, and then I'm going to stop, and I just want to make sure you guys can hear it well enough. So this is sort of a test. Okay, hold on. I'm looking to add. All right, now I did that, and I have to open up all my other windows to see chat. Sorry, not that window. All right, did you guys hear that when I showed the video? Anybody? All of you did. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. Okay, so let me put the video back up. Now I'm going to play it from the beginning. It's just 3 minutes. I'll be right back with some direct trading ideas. Okay, hold on. I'm looking to add to my portfolio of alerts. In particular, I'm looking for a pre-earnings bullish play. So I'll look at the NASDAQ 100 under the Pro Scan. I'll look at pre-earnings trades, in particular 7 days before earnings with a technical safety valve. I'll tap on that. I'll sort it by earnings date, come back down to page 2, and here's Adobe. I'll take a look at that back test. Looks like over the last 3 years, we've got 5 wins, 4 losses. Right now, this is back testing opening the trade 7 days before earnings and closing 1 day before earnings. But Adobe actually reports after the market closes. So we can go as far as 0 days before earnings and still be okay. So I'll do that. We can see the results are getting better. When I go really short term, 6 months, I see 1 win and 1 loss. And when I tap on the back test tile, I see that the loss came in December. So there's something about my technical safety valve that isn't careful enough. I should have avoided this trade. This is when the market was collapsing, and we can actually see from December 6th to December 7th, Adobe went down $12. That's not a period of time I want to be getting long. So I'm going to go into my technical open. This is the first thing we have, which is stock price above the 50-day moving average. But I also make sure that the 21-day moving average is above the 200-day moving average. So if the stock price is above the 50-day moving average and the 21-day is above the 200-day, I feel like we're not in a bear market. So let's see what the results are now. All of a sudden, it skips that losing trade 6 months ago, only opened the trade in September, so it worked perfectly. And now if we go back to the last 5 years, we're getting even better results. What's really of interest to me is the last 3 years. I like it. 6 wins, 2 losses, 267% return. Average trade returns 28.6% in 7 days. I'm in. The next thing I want to do is check the pivot points. So I'll go to cmlviz.com. cmlviz.com is like Yahoo Finance, but better. I'll look at the pivot points. And here I can see the stock right now is above the 50-day moving average pretty considerably, and the 21-day is above the 200-day. So as of right now, this would trigger. Of course, we have to be 7 days before earnings for that to happen. The last thing I do is I like to look at the stock chart. So I'll click on the stock chart tab. I start with a 1-year chart. And since I like 1-day candles on my chart, I'm going to drag it down here to make the chart longer. For chart settings, I'm going to go to adjustments and just go ahead and add an earnings indicator. Going to be a little green E icon. And of course, I'm going to add the 50-day moving average. So I'll go to study. I'll go to moving average. I'll type in 50. That line will come in, and I'll drag it back a little more. And here we can see that pre-earnings momentum. So here's earnings. Here's the rise into it. Here's earnings. Here's the rise into it. Here's earnings. Here's the rise into it. Here's earnings. Notice this did not trigger in December because the 7 days before earnings was below the 50-day moving average. So this never happened. You can sort of put an X through this. This is the type of momentum we're looking for. All looks good. I'll grab this link, put it on my clipboard. I'll set an alert. It's going to be for Adobe. Days before earnings with technicals, 7 days before earnings. The technicals are going to be the stock price is above the 50-day moving average. And the 21-day moving average is above the 200-day moving average. I'm going to put my notes in there. So I have a link to the back test. And before that, I'll just remind myself what I'm doing, which is getting long a call. I'll put my email address in there. I'll add my phone number because I want a text alert. I hit add alert. magically there it is. And that's it. Thanks for watching. All right, now let me move back to me speaking, and let me put my headset back in. Give me 5 seconds. All right, that was a pretty quick video. The goal, let me get some trade machine over there. All right. The goal is to find short bursts of risk exposure through which you want to get either long or short or non-directional, let's say buy a string or straddle, to take on those trades, to have predetermined risk and limit goals and profit goals, and get in and out, and that's it. And you have to decide sort of what is your trading strategy. So what we looked at just now was essentially this trade, which is like, here's earnings. When do we get this momentum, right? There's other types of trades, right? There's, well, what about this? What about when a stock rips off of earnings? Okay, when do we get this rally? When does this happen, right? Or for example, the opposite. What happens when there's just a massive earnings miss? Like, when does this happen? When do you continue? Because it doesn't happen all the time, obviously. When do you get downward momentum? Or we don't have to focus on earnings all the time. I mean, I'm going to show you right now this trigger. This is a 50-day and I think the 10-day. It's like, when does this happen? When is it that a stock stays above a baseline of say 50-day and it crosses over a short-term moving average? When do you get that trigger and then it keeps going up, right? So, and then you could do the same thing for bearish trades. When do you have something like this and there's a technical breakdown? So here's what I'm going to do. These are trades we actually sent out to members already. Okay, so I'm going to look at it. I'm going to look at a bullish technicals condition. Okay, so I'm making the claim, which I want to test, that if the stock price is above the 200-day moving average right here, we're at the very least not in total technical failure. The technicals could look ugly, but if we're above the 200-day moving average, we're not in total technical failure. As long as the stock is above the 200-day moving average, I want to catch that day, just that day, that the stock crosses up through the 10-day moving average, right? So we're not in technical failure. Now we're showing momentum. With one caveat, I want the RSI to be below 70. I don't want to be in an overbought situation where I'm getting long a call and the stock's already had its move, right? So this is a pretty standard view of the world of when might be a good time to get long a call, okay? So stock is not in technical breakdown. It's showing momentum, but we're not overbought. And these are the results for Shopify and for AMD. Right, so you're looking at over 50% win rates and large returns. This is over 3 years, right? You can sort of zoom in and look during essentially when the market was collapsing, and it worked even when the market was collapsing, right? So Shopify, well, actually, it's good. Let's do it manually. Let's actually look at, let's say, from the 1st of July through the very end of 2018. If this is a bullish strategy that works, that we've been in a bull market, so it's no great mystery that I found a bullish strategy that works. Maybe you could just buy calls blindly. Well, but how does it work when market's going down? Okay, so here's Shopify. The stock was down 10% in this 6-month period, but getting long calls at this very particular time was up 210%. So I want you to imagine your portfolio, if you have some long stocks, while they were tanking, if you had something on the side that was actually triggering you when to get long so that you could alleviate some of that pain. Similarly, when to get short, which I'll show you in a second. And with AMD, we see, well, actually wasn't that good, right? So all of a sudden, Shopify's our selection. And then to set the alert, you just go to alerts. You type in your ticker, and you can enter as many tickers as you want. You can have an infinity alerts. There's no limit. This is a technical trigger, and I very specifically wanted to be alerted when the day the stock crossed above the 10-day moving average, but the stock was also above the 200-day moving average, and RSI was below 70, so I wasn't overbought. That's it. I enter my email address, I enter my phone number. If I want it, some notes, I click add alert. I've got alert, and now I don't have to check every day if where Shopify is relative to the 10-day moving average or the 200-day moving average, the RSI. I'm going to get a text and an alert when it's time. This is my demo account. That's why you don't see any alerts. I don't want to expose my phone number. So that's one example. Okay. So another example is fair enough to say, well, okay, well, what about bearish stuff? So here's another look. Here's another view of the world. After I set my portfolio of long trades, maybe 40 or 50 that I want to get identified, let's do the opposite. Markets don't always go up. They go up most of the time, so you should be mostly long, but that doesn't mean you should be all long. And I think October, November, and December should have proven that to you, how risky being 100% long can be. So let's try the other thing. Let's try the other side. This time, we're going to say the stock price is below the 200-day moving average. Remember last time we said above. So the stock is in virtual technical breakdown. Okay. And I want to know the day the stock crosses down through the 10-day moving average. So it's in technical breakdown and it's losing momentum, or I should say it's gaining downward momentum. But of course, I don't want to be in an oversold situation, so I want the RSI above 30. If you're following along, this is just the corollary to the long trade. It's just the opposite. It's the opposite, right? And this time I'm going to look at 5 tickers: Amazon, Facebook, Micron, Twitter, and NVIDIA. And here you go, guys. Let's see how long this back test is. Yeah, I mean, this is, let's go 5 years. I mean, this has been a ripping bull market, right? And we're looking at a trade that's getting long puts. And looking at win rates from 66% to 75%, returns, 700%, 200%, whatever. So I like these trades too, right? I want to get alerted when this thing happens. And in fact, I have enough of these that when I start getting a lot of these alerts, I actually start to realize when the market's turning. So I realized it when it was going down uh, in October, November, but I also realized it when it was turning up this January, or the end of December and this January, because all of a sudden my bullish alerts are triggering, a lot of them at a time. It's kind of like a ringing bell. So it incidentally acts as a sort of market indicator. So to set this alert, I would do the same thing. I would go to alerts. So I'll just take these tickers. Go to alerts. I'd enter all 5 tickers. It's a technical alert. In this case, I simply want to know when the stock crosses down through the 10-day moving average, when the stock price is already below the 200-day moving average, so virtual technical breakdown, but the RSI is not oversold. And that's it, right? And I put in my email address, my phone number, and I just click add alert. And now I've got that in the background working for me. So that's how you use the backtester. An easier way to do it is to just use the pro scan feature. Let's say you're interested in the NASDAQ 100 because these companies have a bit more liquidity, not a bit more, a lot more liquidity in their options. And let's say you're looking for, we've looked at bullish and bearish trades. Let's look at non-directional trades. So we'll do long strangles with a technical trigger. And let's look at really long backtests that have worked for a long time. Right? So here's Starbucks. Right? Who would ever think about Starbucks as a technical trade or as a volatility trade? And I'm going to change my deltas. I'm moving pretty quickly through the app. If you become a member, you'll know what I'm doing. I'm not trying to give a demonstration on how every button works in Trade Machine. You get that, a user's manual if you sign up. I just want to show you how to trade, how it works for trading. So here's what I'm doing. Over the last 10 years, I just want to make it clear to everyone, this is 10 years. This is 2009 to 2019. Okay. The idea is every time Starbucks crosses below the 200-day moving average, right? The day it crosses below the 200-day, and it's already below the 10-day. This is a technical failure. When a stock is crossing below the 200-day moving average and is already below its short-term moving average, this is a technical failure, right? I don't want to bet bullish or bearish. I just want to bet on getting long a straddle. And so I did that. We could do that in Starbucks, and you can see it's happened 28 times in the last 10 years. So about 3 times a year. So you're going to have an alert set, and about every 4 months, you're going to get a little zing and say, whoa, 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 Starbucks. And here are the results, right? A 78% win rate with 455% return. You're making about 24% per trade. Hey, that's good. We can zoom in to the last year. Over the last year, this has happened 6 times, so about every other month, has lost, right? So there are a lot of companies like this. In fact, if I just throw in Amazon right here, I'll go turn it to 10 years. Right? There's another one, right? So I have a bunch of alerts set for this too. These are non-directional trades, right? And I just found that, if you recall, from the scanner, right? And then there's lots of scans we have. We have this pre-earnings momentum. That's this type of behavior, right? when you get this momentum ahead of earnings, not the earnings bet, that's a different trade, this momentum. And we've tested this and we show the statistical results, and it is statistically significant. This is actually a phenomenon. Through the Great Recession, it didn't matter. You could have been, NVIDIA was down 80% during the Great Recession, but if you got long the week before earnings, you actually would have been up just for that week. So we have a bunch of scans. So you can work from the scanner to the backtest tab, to the alerts tab. You can just start in the backtest tab if you have ideas you want to test and go to the alerts tab, whatever you like. And finally, we have the discover tab, which kind of helps you get started. We write 3 articles a week. Remember that Adobe video we started with? Here it is. This is it. Was no great discovery. I had already done it. Here's Starbucks. Remember, I just showed you guys Starbucks. Here it is. There's a Starbucks trade. Remember actually that Shopify long trade? Well, here it is. I just showed you the 3 most recent insights. That's all I've done. I literally went 1, 2, 3. I'm going to show this right now. And we have these three a week forever. Forever, 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 forever. Okay. So we'll help you stimulate ideas. And here, in the frequently asked questions tab, you find a user's manual. And if you're really into like volatility trading, option trading is volatility trading, whether you mean it to be or not. So you might as well mean it. I give an expert volatility webinar here, if you're still inclined, right? So there's a lot of tools here. Also, you can say, well, there's all these trades in the scanner. How do I know which one I want? We talk about each trade that's in the scanner right here. Literally, go to it and you see every single one, every single one, every single one. You're like, oh, this fits my personality. I read about this trade and I like it. And then you look at it, oh, this one fits my personality. And you read another and you're like, oh, I don't like that trade. That doesn't fit my personality. So you find the trades that fit your personality. You scan for them. You set alerts for them, and hopefully you profit from them. And that's really what option trading is. I can tell you from having seen the funds with, billions of dollars to running a model with over $1 trillion in assets under management to being on the exchange floor. This is how people make money trading options. It's understanding probabilities. It's having a diversified portfolio of trades. That doesn't mean you have 9 different longs. That's not being diversified. It's like you got your 6 long 6 calls, different company, maybe short, you have long 3 puts and long a couple of straddles and companies that are triggering. Whenever they trigger, boom, 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 and it's all doing the work for you in the background. And then you place the trades, and that's it. We have we cover all the indices. If you trade SPX or SPY or IWM or QQQ, we have all that. We have a really famous SPY trade that's gotten us a lot of notoriety right here. Oh, I'm not going to show you the video. Trust me, we do. It's a 2-minute video. So there's a wealth of knowledge here in Trade Machine. And then, the last question is, well, I guess this guy's here selling something. I am. I'm selling a subscription to this. And through Danny, through Mr. Topstep, MTS. If you go to cmlviz.com/MTS, you can get it for $99 a month. And we don't have a contract. So you decide every month if you want it. So you don't have to pay $1,000 for a year or whatever. The normal price is $149. We're at $99 a month right now for Mr. Topstep. Trade Machine grows, so it becomes larger and larger. In fact, those technicals I showed you are rather new. And some of the scans are rather new. Some of the alerts are rather new. Some of the stuff on the Discovery tab is rather new. It's going to grow to be a gigantic trading analytics platform, and it eventually will be $6,000. But when you sign up, your price is guaranteed for life. So we actually have people who are paying as little as $49 a month because they got on early. And that price will never go up unless they cancel, of course. So I'm going to turn to the chat now. Once I turn to the chat, I can't show this other screen. I can't work on this other screen. So I'm going to see if there are any questions. And if not, I'll get out of Dodge. Hold on. Now all I have to do is find that window. Here's the window. Okay. All right. So that was my presentation. Hold on. There's how you can get it. If you have any questions about it, you can reach out to me on Twitter at Ophir Gottlieb. I have a verified account. I'll just show that real quick. All right, this is me. Yeah. So yeah. yeah. It comes from It comes from, it's first of all, it's natural, for better or worse, but it also comes from being on the floor. You can't, I bet you Danny's a pretty fast talker. You can't talk slowly on the floor. You just miss out, right? Especially an open outcry. If you're thinking about a trade as the broker's calling it out, you're just like, yeah, this is not going to work. I'm missing every open outcry. I, yeah, I see. Will it always stay at 99, or is that for one? So it'll be $99 a month forever if you sign up. That we never touch your subscription price, so you don't all of a sudden see a new charge on your credit card or PayPal account. It's the price you get is the price you keep for life, unless you cancel. Um, so don't worry about that. We have people who paid $49 a month and are they're getting. I mean, they're paying $49 a month for something that's 150 a month. That's pretty soon going to be $499 a month. So yeah, you're safe. And when I say there's no contract, what I mean is it automatically renews every month, but you're not tied in for a year. You can just say, I don't like it. Like, I don't, it's not for me. I also, this is something I say, this is going to stand for all trading analytics stuff. It's not just for us, just broadly speaking, as someone who has, I've been trading for more than 2 decades. You should look at the price of a trading tool, let's say broadly, and you got to think to yourself, okay, I trade this asset, let's say options, stocks, doesn't matter, futures, whatever I say. Do I think I'm going to make at least 5 times that amount with this service, right? So if this is $99, you should be making at least $400 or $500 a month, in as far as you're concerned with the product, hopefully more. But the price should never be a detractor. If the price is a detractor, it's just not right for you, right? Because there's no way you should be trading options and not making $99 a month off of off an analytical tool that you want to use, right? So that's the best way I think about cost. The reason I had to think about cost like that is on the floor, we're not paying $99 a month, right? I'm paying $12, $13, $14,000 a month for for the whole rig. And you got to think about it, it's like, well, I mean, come on now. If I'm not making 14,000 a month when I'm on the floor, then what the hell am I doing, right? So that's a really good way. It's forget us, just in general. It's a really good perspective to have on trading analytics tools. Am I going to be making several times the cost of this because of it? And if so, the cost becomes a non-issue. And if not, then it's not right for you. It's not a good fit. You know, right? Not to sound cheap, but just curious. What do you say? Oh, let's see. If we sign up today for 99, is that starting March, or do we only get a few more days in Feb? So it's $99 a month from your sign up date. So if you sign up March 22nd, then the next time you'll get billed will be, I'm sorry, if you sign up February 22nd, your next bill date will be March 22nd. It's just, it's not the first of the month. It's individual to you. Your anniversary is your date of sign up. Yeah, exactly. Uh, if you think about it, that's right. That's right. Actually, it goes for all of us, right? Anyone who pays a rent or has a mortgage, your monthly mortgage is more in February than it is in January. Uh, so just good. Yeah. So this is not a trading platform. So we don't trade for you ever. So any brokerage is fine. Absolutely. We are not a broker dealer. We are an analytics platform. When you get an alert, it's not trading for you. It's sending you an email or a text message that says, hey, brother, you said you wanted to know when Starbucks broke below the 200-day moving average and the 10-day moving average, and this is why. This is the trade you're looking at. Here you go, and then you trade if you want to. We don't place any trades for you. We're not tied to a brokerage. So I guess that was a really long answer of saying you can use any broker. I made up for it with speed. That's all right. Yes, yes. So I'll let it's not like, okay, 14 seconds, 13 seconds. It's okay. You go there. I've worked with Danny for a long time. How many people do we have working for us? If you don't count admin or our board, 5. If you do count admin in our board, then more than 5. Yeah, we're small size, medium size fintech out of LA. Been around for a while. Our chairman is actually one of the grandfathers of modern portfolio theory for bonds, for fixed income. So his name is Jim Kaplan. You can look him up. He's one of the founding directors of MarketWatch as well. So we have some big hitters. Yeah. 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 I mean, you can look. I mean, my Twitter. Man, I have too many freaking moniitors. Like, okay. I mean, it's really hard for me to keep up with notifications. I get like 20 a minute, but I do. I talk to people a lot here. That's what I'm here for. And our support staff is great, man. We have former option traders. We have our director of client services actually used to be at support for Apple. So we're here for you. Also, in that Discover tab, you get a lot. It's a whole, like, I don't know. It's like a whole graduate education on options trading and volatility trading, and it's something that you take with you whether you are a Trade Machine member or not, right? You can consume all of that information, which is worth well over $99, and just say, okay, that was good, cool. I paid $99 to get 2 years worth of education. I'm cool. I don't think you'll do that after you do all of it, but it's possible. So you will leave CML. I don't think you will, but if you do leave CML, you're going to leave it with just a mountain of knowledge. And if you think of a trader kind of as like, you have a tool belt, right? Like, all right, this trade requires a hammer, this trade requires a saw, whatever it is. Your tool belt will expand quite extensively when you come to CML. You'll see the market in a way you've probably never seen it before. And that will go with you no matter what asset you trade, no matter what analytics platform you use, whether it's futures or whatever. We're just options. We're options in stock. You can backtest stock too. It's a stock backtester, but we don't have futures or futures options. But you're gonna walk away saying, "Oh, so that's how it works on the floor." Okay, so that's what they do. Like, everyone talks about, like, that's what they do on the floor. That's what they mean between being bid or being, like, what the spread is, or like how much the spread affects the trade, and when liquidity is so low that you should do a trade. That's built into Trade Machine. So no, it's all inclusive. There's no download. Yeah. So this is a web-based software. I'll show you guys. So you just go to trust me. You just go to Trade Machine. You go to the login page. It's no download. It runs on a browser, so you can use it on your phone. You can use it on a Mac. It doesn't matter. Chrome, whatever. You don't have to buy extra data. Data's with it. It's literally $99 a month. Like, all in, it's $99 a month. Not $99 plus the PayPal fee. Oh, actually, I take that back. It is $99 plus. Is that true? No, it's $99. We eat the PayPal fee. It is $99. So it's actually $99. Yeah. So that's it. And I would hope. I mean, we have several thousand members, and I think that most people who are, let's say, semi-serious to serious traders — by serious I just mean the amount of time you can put into it. You can have a day job, but you take a look at the market 2 or 3 times a week. They're not thinking about the $99, guys. They're thinking about how much they're trying to make. So, oh yeah, I'll show you. It's actually really easy. So you enter a ticker. That's okay, and you can enter up to 5. I'm just entering 1. You can enter 5. You pick a strategy. I'm just going to go with one that we did together. Let's do a pre-earnings trade with Adobe. So you enter a ticker. You're like, yeah, I want to try getting long a call. So you just click a button, call. You click long. Okay. This is a custom. I want to do a custom earnings trade. So this is really custom. Like, I want to do 7 days before earnings and close like the day of earnings, right? Okay, so that's it. And I want to use the go over here on the right hand side. Right? I want to try the 7-day options. Okay, let's do that. Oh, and then I'm going to set a stop and a limit because I don't want to lose 100% of my trade. So stop at a limit of 40%. Okay, there it is. right? These are how the trades look over the last 3 years. This is it. You say, oh, you know what? Actually, I also don't want to do it when the stock is cratering. So you go, oh, okay, technical open. I also want to do this only if the stock is above the 50-day moving average. Right? And this is just because basically I don't want to do this like last December. Then you click the button and here you go. Right? You see some fewer trades as you should, but this is what happens. And that's it. It's ticker, length of time, days to expiration. And also we have a user's manual, which is actually a video. You don't have to actually read a user's manual. This video, we have a short one, which is like 9 minutes, and we have a long one, which I would recommend, which is a little longer. And you'll learn every single button. Like, what is it? How do I set my commissions? And how do I check my execution and how liquid it is? And how do I set my deltas? And while we're at it, what the hell is a delta? And how did it do during the Great Recession? Right? I wonder how this did do in the Great Recession. Okay. So we make the tool nice and easy. Our hope is to make the most complex things in the world very easy. So all of that gets out of the way and you can just set up your trades and let a machine do the alerting for you. Right. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely it is. And we have with options, I mean, certainly with options, and especially for putting stops and limits, but even if you're just getting long options and you're already protected, you can do spreads. And rather than, you're going to watch a video as when you become a member and kind of learn through the user's manual and be like, okay, I think I can do this. But when you go to a scan, for example, say the NASDAQ 100, let's do this pre-earnings trade, this pre-earnings technical trade, whatever, it looks cool. And you pick a ticker that you like, Microsoft, you can just click on it and it's all done for you, right? You're like, okay, here's Microsoft. Here's what's happened for Microsoft over the last 3 years. When I opened a trade 7 days before earnings, closed it 1 day before earnings. What was that trade? Oh, it's long, a call. Oh, are there technicals? Oh, it looks like there are. Oh, it's above only when it's above the 50. Okay, okay, all right. Only when it's above the 50-day moving average. What options do I use? Oh, the ones that are closest to 7. So the scanner does it for you, right? And like I said, we have insights. So I showed you the Shopify trade. You're like, man, this guy's going fast. Or the Adobe trade. We send it in an article. Right? So here's the Shopify trade. Right? This was published yesterday, actually. There you go. All right, we're just okay. Here you go. Here's our most recent trades, by the way. Boom, 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 boom. I should say most recent insights. We're going to talk about getting long a call and never trading earnings. We're going to talk about doing it with these technicals right here. Right? And we're going to have a special kind of stop and a limit. Here we go, right here. Okay, here it is. And then we go to the results. And every time we show you results in a backtest, if you're a member, all you have to do is click this button and it's going to open this entire backtest. Watch this. I'm going to click this button. Remember these numbers, 24, 19. I'm going to click this button. If you're a member, magically, boom, there it is. There it is for you. So the complexity is reduced monumentally through scans and through our emails. And you become an expert, depending on how much time you give it. I'd say anywhere from 3 days to 7 days, depending how much time you can commit to it. Obviously, we have other things in our lives. But I don't think we've ever lost someone because they felt that it was too complex. But as with all things in life, if you want to be great, then you have to put great effort. And that's just the truth. And that's trading futures, trading options. If someone's telling you that it's going to be easy to make money, they're lying. It's hard. It took me a long time to make money trading. Trial by fire, honestly. I don't know any successful traders who haven't basically blown out. There actually used to be a rule on the floor. You have to blow out 3 times. The floor is different. I mean, we measure risk in a different way on the floor. We don't even think about it with dollars anymore. You think about it as units. Like, oh yeah, I'm up 700,000 units today, or I'm down 300,000 units today. But yeah, I mean, people blow out and they borrow money from friends and they do it again. And you don't want to do that as a retail trader. You don't want to go bankrupt. That's not the idea. But like, trading takes time. Forget the software. I'm just letting you guys know it's very possible you've found the perfect strategy that fits your style. Whatever whatever feels comfortable in your belly. You've probably already found it. And you might have just passed right over it because you weren't patient enough. You've got to be patient. Nothing works that quickly. And if it does, it'll fade, right? You'll get lucky, 2, 3 trades win, 4 trades, like, I'm all in. And then things will go wrong. And like, oh, I'm not diversified at all. I didn't understand the risk in this trade at all. So what the trade machine does is try to find your long trades, try to find your short trades, try to find your non-directional trades. And that's the general idea. I think that you will be thrilled with it. Having said that, I can't guarantee you'll be thrilled with it. But look on my Twitter feed and just look at all the people tweeting at me and try to find an unhappy person. Honestly, there's thousands, maybe tens of thousands of people who give me feedback. Just click on my here. I'll just do it. Just look at people who tweeted at me. You know, these are the best. Wow, great. You know, just these are the real results of trading, right? What are people saying back at me? Because when people don't make money on trades, they're not very nice about it. Yeah, yeah. Social's true, and I can't delete someone else's tweet. so so yeah, give it a shot. We're not an advisory firm, and I'm not guaranteeing you profits. 100% not guaranteeing you that. That's the one thing I can guarantee you is that I can't guarantee that. What I can guarantee you is that trading takes effort, it takes attention, and there's simply far too much data out there to do it properly if you're not in some manner using a machine. You're still the decision maker. The human is the decision maker. Although in a lot of hedge funds, they're not. And I worked with a lot of them. But in this case, you're the decision maker. But you need you need a machine to do the calculations for you. Right? How can you check 10,000 stocks across 13 years, buying a call 7 days before earnings, getting out a day before earnings, using only if it's above the 50-day moving average, using a stop and limit, and then seeing if that's somehow better than just being long all the time during a bull market? How can you possibly do that? And then you say, well, I can do it. I can download the data. Great. We have 40 of those strategies. Right? You need the computational power of a machine. And even back when I was trading, I was on the floor more than a decade ago now. And even then, dude, it was the machines, man. I mean, we were making the decisions, but you can't make a market in 200 companies and be on every bid and offer and know exactly what the skew is. I mean, nobody has that much stuck in their head, right? So we're bringing the trade machine to everybody else, right? So that's it. That's my spiel. Fast talking and all. So I'll tell you this. I can't give a recommendation for broker, and I'm just gonna. This is probably don't get a lot of this from people. I'm gonna give you the real reason I can't tell you. I actually can tell you which broker I think is good. There's no law against it. I can't tell you because I can't piss off another broker. So I'm being totally honest with you, right? Because if I say broker A, then I'm gonna get a call from broker B who says, "What the hell, man?" So I would say the brokerage that fits you best, I would pay attention to commissions. Commissions matter. And in Trade Machine, you can see exactly the impact of commissions. We have in the trade results, we show you how much you're paying in commissions. You fill in your own personal commission rate and we calculate it for you. So pay attention to commissions. Also pay attention to like what and how their analytics are set up for you. Is it easy to find their delta? Is it easy to find their vol? Do they give you the midpoint? Things like that. Other than that, they're kind of, well, I won't say it because I'll get in trouble. That's my answer. Yeah, IB's fine. If someone says they have IB, that's fine, no problem. Oh yeah, like how do the summer months look? How does it look going into September, which is generally disastrous. So we don't have a button that says like summer or spring or whatever, but what you can do, let's see who's really sensitive. Amazon's really sensitive to seasons because it's retail oriented, right? So I'm just gonna look what it's like. I'm gonna do a call. I'm not even gonna put technicals. Just forget technicals. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go. Let's say what is the most recent year that's relevant for Amazon? Let's say from 2016. Okay, and I want to test. Let's see here. I want to test. I'm not going to choose an actual 3 month period. I want more than that. So I want to know September gets a little funky, and we all know that. When we cross Labor Day, you know, buckle up. So I'm actually going to test it manually. I'll say, all right, well, what happens? What happened to Amazon in 2016 for this sort of 4-month period, just buying a call, would that have worked? Okay, really. By the way, this doesn't surprise me, right? A lot of people don't know this. Not good, right? He's like, okay, well, that was 2016. All right, let me just 2017. It's not the coolest way to do it, but it's workable. It's 2017. Okay, something happened in 2017, right? Okay, we know what happened in 2017 broadly. The market never had a down day. All right, now let's check 2018, which was more like a normal year. All right, not good, not good. So a lot of people don't know this about the seasonality of Amazon. It's obvious it's a retail stock. I know it's the cloud business is making all of its profits, but it's still considered a retail stock. This is a tough time period for Amazon. So that's how I would test seasonality. The one thing I would just kind of, this is my view of the world. A lot of people, when they back test, they like to see like as many years as possible. I want to see 30 years. With options, that's not really relevant, right? Options move in volatility regimes. And volatility regimes tend to last about 2 or 3 years, right? We were in a really low volatility regime until this last October. And now we're in like a higher volatility regime. So I actually wouldn't look back too many years. You can, you go back 12 or 13 years, but that's how I would test seasonality. Oh, you could do that. Yeah, sure. So let's do IBM. By the way, I just keep testing being long a call. I'm not saying you actually get long calls. I'm just doing it. Right here, by the way, is a setting which is never trade earnings. If you're going to trade earnings with options, then you have to do it very much on purpose. Like you're trading earnings. If you're not, skip it. Never trade earnings says we will never open a back test 2 days before earnings or 2 days after earnings. We're living like this 4-day window where it's like a blackout. If you guys have frequent flyer miles, you can't. There's a blackout date. You can't trade on those days. So let's look over the last 10 years. Also, you choose, do you want weekly options or whatever? Let's choose 10 years in IBM. It's going to be a big back test, right? This is every 2 weeks. So what is this? This is 104 trades. This is like 1,000 trades or something like that. So we'll just let the trade machine crank. And then when it's done, what we're going to do is we'll click on the back test tab. Tile. We're going to click on this little tile. Okay, yeah, 270 trades, right? Look at that. When you click on this tile, you can actually see every trade and you can put it into Excel. Right? You download it into Excel and you can go week by week and see what year was good, what year was bad. We also have a lot of, by the way, a lot of people don't know this. IBM was up 100% over the last 10 years. You can see the average win and the average loss. You can see, total gain, total loss. But, for all of the cantankerous mood around IBM, just owning a call every 2 weeks if you avoided earnings in a bull market still worked, guys. It was 5x the stock, still worked. So yeah, you can test really, really simple ideas, and you can, by the way, if anyone's wondering, we have a custom strategy builder. So if you don't like any of these pre-built ones, you can just build your own. Like you can just, here, it looks like this. You just start adding legs. I want this, and I want this, and I want, I don't even know what I want. I want to be short some of this, and I want to be short a call too, and I want like 4 of them. And you just add your own strategy, save it. It's unlimited, and you start testing it. It's actually a custom strategy that made us kind of famous over the SPY. If you look at our SPY trade, it's been viewed 1.3 million times. So you're like, oh, what is that trade? Well, you got to be a Trade Machine member. Everyone who clicked on that trade who wasn't a Trade Machine member, it got registered as a click, but they didn't get to see it. They didn't get to see it. But that's how much volume we get when it comes to trades that are on big names like SPX, SPY, right? So the Trade Machine is a really valuable tool if you're an options trader. I can't imagine trading without it. Having said that, try it for a month, and if you disagree, then you disagree. Not going to hurt my feelings. I want you to make money. I'm going to tell you right now, I don't know many people will tell you this. I'd rather you make money than be a subscriber. If I had a choice, they could be a subscriber, they could make money. I'd rather you make money. I dedicated my life to making really rich people rich. I did it for a long time. You can read my bio. I'm going to be presenting at CFA on the main stage in London, basically talking about that, right? Artificial intelligence, how it's used in finance. I was the first person to use neural networks in finance. $1 trillion. I was tired of making rich people rich. Now I'm trying to make retail money, and that's why we do this. So I'm actually much more interested in your outcomes than I am in what Trade Machine eventually does. Having said that, people who use Trade Machine tend to make money. So. Oh yeah, if yeah. So once you get in there, we have a tab called the Discover tab. So you go to Discover. Um, this is the first one is a short video. That's okay. Like that's the 8-minute one. If I were a new user to this software, like had I not been with the development team building it, I would actually watch this one. This is like 45 minutes, so maybe you want to watch it in 2 sittings. But this is, I mean, guys, this is the guts of option trading. Okay. This is me really, really getting into it using Trade Machine. Okay. So I would watch the second one. And if you're really hungry to learn how to trade volatility in particular, then I would watch the second one, this third one too. Okay. But this is where it is, the Discover tab. And almost every question you have about the software is going to be answered here. You just got to look. Okay. I mean, honestly, like how do you calculate edge? Or what does Reg T do to me if I'm short a put? Like everything from trading to questions about margin. It's all here. Or like, how do I use the scanner to create a portfolio? It turns out in the scanner, you don't have to scan the whole world. You can actually create your own portfolio. Let's say I copy and pasted 100 tickers here, and you could just scan those 100 tickers. Right? I'm only interested in these 10 tickers, these 9 tickers, these 100 tickers. So you're going to learn all of that in the Discover tab. It's really, really rich tab here. Oh, nice. So there you go. Yeah, I would say give it a shot. The most it will cost you is $99. That's what some people would say. I say the most it will cost you is being a professional trader or making money trading for the rest of your life. It could cost you that much by not trying. I really believe that. And if I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. But this is coming from someone who has traded on the floor, who has traded professionally, who has worked with people who measure their bank accounts in 9 figures. Actually, a couple people who measure their bank accounts in 10 figures. This is how it's done. Yeah, forever. I mean, for as long as you stay a member, yeah, it's for forever. Right, that's right. So we've had this happen. We've had people quit and then come back 7 months later, being like, "This is the biggest mistake of my life. Can I get back?" Like, absolutely, of course, you come back. Like, oh, this is, let's say at that time it was like $79, and they bought it for 49. They can I have it for 49. No, you cannot. No, you cannot. There's no going backwards, but you get to keep the price you're in for. So. Well, it'd be the same thing with stocks, right? Can I buy Amazon for $6? Because I remember that day. I remember that day when it was $6. I was talking to my friend. We're this place in Oakland. I was like, man, it feels like this Amazon thing is way too low. Yeah, you can't do that. So, all right, cool. Thanks for your what diff between research and trade machine service. So CML Pro Research, it's a totally different product. Which we also actually offer through Mr. Topstep. That's long-term stock stuff, right? So that's called CML Pro. You can Google it, whatever, or ask Danny. But this is for Trade Machine. Two different services. There is no product together discount. They're already so discounted. I mean, CML Pro is $29 a month, and I'm gonna raise it to like $9.99 a month, like $1,000 a month. So like these are the discounts, no more. So that's the difference. But CML Pro has nothing to do with options. It's just long-term stocks. That's it. It's research. It's reading. CML Pro is reading. Trade Machine is trading. Yeah, you got it. Oh, it was an hyper. Yeah, yeah, exactly. There it is. Yeah, I'm gonna click on it, make sure it works. Make sure I didn't mess it up. Yeah, perfect. You'll see, the logo for Mr. Topstep on there too, so you know it's the right place. Yes, you can immerse yourself in options videos for the weekend. You'll enter Friday as you are now, leave Monday ready to be an expert. All right. Well, thanks so much, Marlon. I'm gonna get out of here. I guess you'll take over the screen share or whatever, right? Oh, oh, okay. So what should I do? Go screen share and. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Stop sharing. Stop sharing. Got it. All right. And I'm gonna shut myself up now. I'm gonna mute myself. Thanks so much, guys. It was a pleasure. Happy trading.